Hello and welcome back to our absolutely last but definitely not least interview here at Devoxx France 2024 in Paris. And I have Loïc here with me, my last but not least guest, and this is very nice to wrap up with an interesting technical content and technical topic that we are going to talk about. And you mentioned that you work on an open source project that's called Azimutt.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. So I'm Loïc Knuchel. I'm working mainly on Azimutt. Just before I was a principal engineer at Dr. And basically what Azimutt is doing is SaaS, helping developers understand the databases. So basically it starts with the schema exploration, and then after that you can document your database and also explore the data. And that's what we have right now, and what we are moving just after is insight from your database to help you maintain it in a good health. For example, suggest to create index, delete index, change your queries to use more index, also tag the bad data and things like that. So
this is neat. So is it runtime like tool that you're using or development time?
It can be both. Basically, it's connect to the database, so you can connect to your developer database when you're doing local development, but you can also connect to the staging of the prod one. For now, the prod one is not recommended because there is a few security issue for it, and it's not planned for that, but we will move towards this. So later, the goal is to have it connected to your production database, and then you can have explain for your query to know about the performance, but also allow people to query your production database with more safety than just giving them the URL and the access to the database. For example, checking that the query is not too heavy for the database and things like that. So
this is that sounds very useful in production. But for now, for the development, it's just basically a tool for better understanding of your database and to optimize your usage with suggested changes in queries, adding indexes, and this kind of stuff. And how do I connect it to my development environment? What do I do? How do I get started?
Yeah, but basically, there is several ways to import your schema into it. So the initial one was with all the create table you have, you export the schema to the database and you import it into Azimutt. But that's mostly the legacy way. Now we just connect to the database, so you give it your database URL, and then you can connect to the database and extract the schema. And for the local database, you have a gateway you can launch on your local machine, and then the front end of the Azimutt will connect to the gateway and will go to the database. So basically, you can access anything you have on your.
Yeah, that makes sense. And my question was exactly that. So, and then you have a UI that I can navigate and explore my database.
Yeah,
that's and how that looks like.
Very nice, basically. But yeah, it's like most entity relationship diagrams. Basically, you have the tables and the relation with all the columns. And what is quite different from with the other tool is you choose which table you want to see and which column you want to see, so you can build exactly the schema you want. Because all the previous tools, and that's why I built this one, just show everything. So when you have a small table, like a small database with 20 or 30 tables, it's fine. But like at Doctolib, where I was, we have 800 tables. So when you show everything, you see nothing, and that's why I built it.
Yeah, it makes sense. And all right. So you look at your database, you do some investigations, you discover many things. It also suggests you like, hey, switch this query, add this index. Will it automatically do that on my database?
Oh, no, of course. Basically, yeah. We want it to be mostly read-only. So we read the schema and only from the system table. So we don't touch the data at all on the import phase. After that, you can query your data. So you can select and update also if you want, but we will add some write on it to don't allow people to do the updates. But yeah, we don't change anything in the database without the consent of the user.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. So basically, I have probably like a more safe option that you can give me those hints or those ideas, and then I just copy paste it to my schema, or I can give you a special access and approve that you make the changes.
For now, we more plan to have to give you the script, mostly because most of the projects want to have all the database migration on a specific folder, on a specific format. Sometimes it's inside the ORM specific syntax. So we don't want to change that. And basically, we help people know what they should do. We don't do it for them.
I think that's a great approach. That's exactly how it should be. And you mentioned migrations, which brings me exactly to my next question. How do Azimutt play with tools for database migrations, like Liquibase and what was the other one that I forget? Yeah, and Flyway and those kinds of tools. Yes.
There's a lot. So basically, we don't interact with those tools. And what we do is, so the first thing, we reverse engineer the database, so extract the schema from it. And then you can do everything, and later you can refresh the schema, so refetch again the schema and to get the new one. So basically, this is very two separate things. Azimutt fetching the schema can be done regularly, for example, with a CI integration to say, okay, each time when a pull request is made, pull again the schema, so the schema is always up to date, but it's very different from the migration. And there is no interaction between them.
Yeah, no, it makes sense that it's not obviously not the same thing. And well, yeah, they are orthogonal, right? So you do the migration, then you just connect Azimutt to whatever new thing that you are doing. That makes sense. Well, yeah, perfect. How do we get started? Where do we get it?
Yeah, so you can get it on azimutt.app. So this is the main site. And the easiest way to get started is using the CLI from Azimutt. So basically, it's just an NPM package. So you can just write npx, executing the NPM package without installing it. npx azimutt explore, and you put your database URL. And basically, it will launch a gateway on your machine and open Azimutt with your schema of your database. So that's just one command to start with it and see your schema.
It's beautiful, very user-friendly, and pretty safe, considering that it goes to gateway and it's read-only.
And it's only local, so...
I don't see any reason not to try it, and I recommend everybody do it. And I guess with that, we will wrapping up the amazing 3 days of the Build Propulsion Lab at Devoxx France. Thank you very much, Loïc. Thank you very much for watching and staying with us through those entire 3 days. On the bright side, we will see you in just a couple of weeks from now at Devoxx UK. We will come to you from London, a very similar format, more amazing content, more amazing speakers. So stay tuned, and but in the meanwhile, have a great weekend and have a great week, and we'll see you very, very soon.